Hi, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Extra Innings Podcast. I'm your host, Elijah, and we're back today with another episode. Sorry this one's a little bit late. Had some stuff come up this week, some changes we're making over here. Just kind of some changes we're making, but plenty of things happening today. I think moving forward, and I know I've kind of talked about this before. I think moving forward, we're probably going to be doing 2 episodes a week. I know this one's a little bit late. It's supposed to come out on Monday. It's Friday. I'm definitely very late, but lots of stuff to talk about, lots of things happening. But like I said, moving forward, I'm going to try to get one out Mondays, and then we're going to try to get one out probably on Thursday, Friday in that same range. So we should be solid moving forward. And the thing is like at the beginning of the year, there's not a whole lot happening. It's kind of like everything's kind of just starting out. Players are starting slow. Obviously there's the excitement over opening day. There's the excitement happening around baseball coming back in general. So there's a lot happening, but just not to the level that we're at now. Like we're kind of getting into the meat of the season. Like obviously we're about to be in May. Right after May comes June, July, and things are really going to start heating up. And then obviously it gets intense. Without further ado, we have plenty to talk about. I got a full list of things to talk about. And the first one, people are going to kind of take 2 different ways because that's kind of where everything's kind of split, right? And we're going to have to talk about it. And I didn't release an episode about the signing of this man because I just didn't feel good about what I said. It wasn't anything bad. It wasn't anything like ridiculous. I wasn't like ridiculing the guy or anything. I just, honestly, it was like the only thing on the docket for that episode. And I was like, you know what? Everyone knows how I feel. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm upset that Soto's leaving. We're not going to talk about it. And as I just said there, we're going to be talking about Juan Soto. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to baseball, if you haven't been watching or listening, Juan Soto has made some questionable comments about the Mets and his performance thus far into the season. We're about almost a month in. And personally, for a guy who's worth 700 million, or really 800 something million, you expect him to be absolutely worth every penny and just absolutely raking. Hasn't been the case. So first I'm going to go over his stats so far, and then we're going to kind of break down what he said, talking about Aaron Judge, a bunch of other stuff that have Mets fans kind of a little upset and Yankee fans wondering if he misses being a Yankee. Now listen. So last year he finished the year batting .288, not bad, 419 OBP, 988 OPS. Damn good. 41 bombs, 109 RBIs, 176 at-bats. Great year. Now we're into 2025. Now, again, people are going to be like, it's still early, he's adjusting, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sure, fine. I feel like when you're getting paid the amount that he's getting paid, there needs to be more production immediately, right off the bat. You're paying $800 million. You need to receive $800 million worth of play, worth of performance, my opinion. Again, and I'm not just being salty because I'm a Yankee fan. I'm just being honest. As a baseball fan, as somebody who really, looks into stats and analyzes this stuff, you need more, right? So right now in 2025, he has 68 at-bats. He's got 15 hits, only 3 home runs, which we're going to talk about home run leaders later. And remember that. 3 home runs for the Juan Soto, the Mr. 800 million. 3 home runs. He's got 7 RBIs. He's batting 221, and he's got a 773 OPS. Now, again, we're not even a full month. I get it. We're not even a full month. It's still early. Okay, benefit of the doubt. Fine. It's still early. I'll give him that Now, again, obviously, Mets fans are like, we thought we were getting Juan Soto of last year, the Yankee Juan Soto, the Padres. He had to struggle with Padres, the Nationals Juan Soto, the guy who went off, the guy who won them the World Series in 2019, which is what everyone was expecting. I feel like the Yankees got that last year immediately off the bat. He was immediately at home. He felt good. He performed well. But obviously, batting 221, sports reporters, fans are going to be like, hey, what's going on? So, of course, they were asked, how you've been adjusting, blah, blah, blah. He says, it's definitely different. I had the best hitter in baseball hitting behind me. I was getting more attacked and more pitches in the strike zone, less intentional walks and things like that. I was pitched differently. Now, everyone knows he's talking about Aaron Judge. Now, the minute that those words left his mouth, I think, honestly, as fans, as reporters, we're reading a little bit too much into it. Does he miss being a Yankee? I'm sure there's pieces. Obviously, he knew going to New York, you're not on the other side of you go to Queens, It's going to be different than you playing in the Bronx. 100%. It's going to be a completely different atmosphere. Obviously, the Mets have been trying to prove something. They haven't been to the World Series since 2015 with Harvey, all that. All those guys, Matt Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, all that. They haven't been since, right? They've been kind of clawing and fighting, have been trying to beat this little brother mentality in New York. We all know that. I think that they have a great team. Don't get me wrong, but they're not the Yankees, and they'll never be the Yankees. And that's not even me saying anything. There's just a lot of legacy there, right? Mets have had great teams in the past. They've had a lot of legends roll through there. Darryl Strawberry, a lot of great guys. They're just not the Yankees, right? So they have that. It's different. But Yankee fans are like, does he miss being a Yankee? Mets fans are like, what the fuck? Why is he saying this? This is kind of upsetting because you're initially kind of dissing Pete Alonso, which he's been playing really good. Let's look at, I haven't even looked at this. Now that I'm kind of going through this, let's look at Pete Alonso's stats because everyone's saying Pete Alonso's kind of going off. Like batting 343, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 23 hits. In the same sample size, right? So right then and there, you have to kind of be offended. Like, hey, dude, like Pete Alonso's no slouch, which he's not. Batting 343, 5 bombs. Hey, not bad, dude. Now, the thing about that is I feel personally like, okay, take the Mets, Yankees out of the conversation. I'm kind of like, hey, that's kind of you making an excuse. I was pitched differently. Okay, you've been pitched differently. You are the highest paid player, I think, in MLB history at the moment. You've created this aura around yourself that you're this dangerous guy not to be fucked with. Like, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that everyone was just going to start throwing you fastballs like they did because they would rather face you than Aaron Judge? And to be 100% honest, people would rather face Pete Alonso than face you. That's baseball, bro. How did you not like? I just don't understand why he would say something like that. I mean, come on. Like, what did you think was going to happen? And I can see why people are upset from both sides. And obviously, like me personally, does he miss being Yankee? I don't know. I'm not even going to dig into that or go back and forth. But obviously, Judge comes in and says, he's going to be fine. He's got Pete Alonso, who's no slouch, obviously. So Aaron Judge wants no part of this conversation. He's like, that's his deal. He says what he wants. He left. He decided not to come back over here. And which is funny because Aaron Judge was offered probably more money to go be a Giant. He was offered a lot of different stuff and chose to be in New York. Juan Soto, I think, had that same option and didn't exercise it. But at this point, I got to be honest, man, it's been very underwhelming watching him in New York. The other night, and this is where everyone was, and obviously I'm partial because I know people are going to they're going to go to the extremes on both sides and be like, oh my God, 800 million. And he goes over 5. Like, you're going to have over days. He had over days as a Yankee. Let's not take it out of proportion. Right. But I got to say, there was a game, I think it was 2 nights ago. He goes 0 for 5 with like 2 strikeouts or something like that. Comes up, bases loaded situation, 1 out. The chant, like, this is what we pay you for kind of deal. Like, and I'm kind of like, hey man, like, this is your job to come through in these situations. Like, this is 100% what they're paying you to do. Come through in the big spot, especially with $800 million, and you can't ignore it. And he grounds into a game-ending double play, and that kind of just, salts on the wound, I guess. But like stuff like that, man, like it's got to be better. I know we're early. I know it's still early. We're probably 10 days out from a month and the year. So it's still early. And I know that, people are jumping to conclusions, but I'm going to be 100% honest. It has been very underwhelming watching Juan Soto play. Do I think it's going to get better? Probably. He's Juan Soto. He's a good ball player. He's going to figure it out at some point or another, which same thing Judge said, but a little bit alarming and a little bit weird that he's already making excuses for his play because people aren't pitching me enough, and kind of dissing Pete Alonso is kind of fucked up, my opinion, but we're going to see what happens. Again, we'll come back to this in a month or so when he's got another, 60 at bats, and we'll kind of see how this progresses. Right now, moving aside from the Juan Soto, there was a big ass brawl. Well, not a brawl, but there was a debacle. And I feel like I have to talk about this because this goes back to an episode I made last year about the same guy. Now, if you didn't see, there was kind of this debacle between the Nats and the Pirates this past week. Apparently, the game before somebody was hit on purpose. It was a tie ball game, wasn't on purpose. And there was this thing happening. There was an animosity. A dude got hit in the face. People, pitchers, players upset. Everyone's upset on both sides. That's a dangerous situation, I'll say. Now, I bring this up because last year, before the Mets had their run, because the Mets ended up shaping up to be a good team last year. They did. They went all the way to the the NLCS. They played really well. They just ran out of steam, one of those things, right? But Jorge Lopez was on the team last year. He's the guy who, before the All-Star break, before things started getting, kind of on the up and up with the grimace thing, all that stuff, Jorge Lopez was a Met, and he's the guy who got pulled from the game, undid his jersey, threw the glove into the stands, this whole theatrical thing, right? And I thought, benefit of the doubt, he's got stuff going on. I made excuses, and not I made excuses, but I read what people were saying. A lot of stuff going on. He's not in a good place, whatever. Well, here we are, and he's the one who threw the pitch. People are upset, not because he threw at somebody. Because listen, I've played ball at a high level. I know that there's going to be calling for situations, whether you're pitching or not, whether you have beef with the guy or not. If you're on the mound, it's your job to take care of this unwritten business. You throw at the guy, right? The thing with this one is obviously what happened the night before was not intentional. It was an accident. You could tell it was a tie ball game late in the game. Again, tie ball game. Why would you hit somebody on purpose, let alone in the head, in a tie ball game? That should have alone been kind of the telltale that this wasn't intentional. We're not trying to hit this guy here. We're not trying to put a guy on. Every at bat matters, especially late in the game, tie ball game. Now we come into the next game, Jorge Lopez. Again, this happened in the 7th. So it's late in the game. It wasn't even like we're making a statement at the beginning to let this know, hey, we're killing this here. No, he did it in the 7th, which was already kind of weird. But it was Jorge Lopez who threw the pitch, and he threw it at fucking Andrew McCutchen, Pittsburgh legend. He's going to be he's been in the game for a long time, well respected amongst the league, and you threw it at Andrew McCutchen. Why? Why him? And why at the head? If you're going to hit somebody, make a point. It's fine. Hit him square in the back. Sure. But number one, late in the game, that's your first error. Second thing, you throw at a really respected player on the Pirates side, which people are going to be pretty up in arms, fans as well. And number one, it's you again who's had issues in the past. So I'm kind of like, what the hell happened? But at the end of the deal, Lopez got a suspension, and also Dave Roberts got a suspension. So they knew this was stupidity at its finest. And yeah, but I'm just like, this is kind of crazy, man. Like, why McCutchen? Why would you throw at McCutchen? What the hell did he do? And I think that's just to put an exclamation point on the statement they were making. But again, just why? Had to throw that in there because it happened today. And that's kind of been the first like real, I guess, bench clearing incident so far this year. So I had to talk about it. But again, just something to kind of keep your eye on. I don't know if that's going to turn anything. Obviously, Lopez is appealing. I think Dave Roberts. I think the manager of the Nationals, Dave, whatever his name is going to, Martinez is going to appeal as well. And if you haven't seen the video, go see it. It's pretty, I'm not a fan of it. But now, and this is where Juan Soto is going to kind of come back into the mix here. We're going to be talking about, so Tyler Soderstrom for the A's is now leading the league with 9 home runs. Pretty crazy. Cal Raleigh for the Seattle Mariners is number 2 with 8. And then you got Aaron Judge with 7. Corbin Carroll, bro, with 6, right? So right off the bat, you got 2 guys. Corbin Carroll, who's just hitting bombs electric right now. He's just going off, playing extremely well. Had, I think, a multi-homer game at this point already, just going off. And then you have Jazz Chisholm, which, funny. Okay, so I bring this up to say this. Corbin Carroll, Tyler Soderstrom. Soderstrom's a big dude. He's going to be a power hitter. He's young. I'm going to kind of look at his stats real quick because I'm curious. Like, he's kind of been one of those guys that you watch here and there. Obviously, last year only played 180. He only had 189 at bats. He batted 233. So far is going off. The A's are no slouch. But I feel like we have to talk about Soderstrom right now. We have to talk about it. 9 homers, 23 hits, and 73 at bats. He's batting 315 just on an absolute tear, right? Absolute tear. 1 OPS right now. Obviously, again, everyone's going to, it's still early. It's still early. Sure, but these trends, if he keeps it, let's just say he keeps this going remotely close to how he's going now, you're looking at like a 60 to 70 home run year. Again, a young kid. I'm not saying anything crazy. He made his debut in 23. He's still got a long ways to go. He's still very early. I'm hoping, because this is a great thing. Will he stay in A? Probably not. If he keeps this trajectory up and keeps balling out like this, he's not going to stay in Athletic, which is interesting, but yeah. But anyway, Soderstrom is just on an absolute tear. Now, Cal Raleigh signed a big extension with the Seattle Mariners this past year. They call him something a little dumpy or big dumpy. I don't know, something weird. He's going off too, batting, well, not really going off, but he's hitting a lot of bombs. He's batting 216, 891 OPS, 74 at bats, so not bad. Great defensive catcher. Not going to say anything there. Now, Corbin Carroll is interesting. I'm a Diamondbacks fan. Like if I had to choose, it'd be like under the Yanks. I do like to watch the Diamondbacks. I like to watch Zach Allen pitch. I think they got Corbin Burns over there. He's doing really well. They got Merrill Kelly doing really well. They got Corbin Carroll. They got, they got some pieces over there. I'm not going to lie. They got some stuff going. I think that the Diamondbacks are 12-7 right now, and they're not somebody you can just kind of shy away. I know they went to the World Series in 23 last year, didn't have kind of like a World Series hangover, same with the Rangers, and didn't kind of show up. Weren't that team that they were the year before. But this year, a little bit different, man. Honestly, Corbin Carroll had a really weird year last year. Great year, all-star year in 23, obviously. What was he in 23? So in 23, he had a 285 average, solid. Here's what's funny. He hit 25 bombs last year. He's already at 6 this year. He's batting 321. He's got a 1. OPS. Corbin Carroll is absolutely going off. I think Corbin Carroll has an extremely high ceiling. I'm going to be honest. He's only been in the league since 22, so we're on about his, third year in the league. There's a lot to watch here. I'm impressed right now. I don't know. He's made some tweaks to his swing from what I've seen on MLB Network. They've talked about it. He's made some tweaks on the swing. This is impressive. It's impressive to see, especially for a guy in at his caliber, his size, his stature in the lineup. He's not a power hitter, which is funny. And why I bring this up is because you've got some guys who are not power hitters, like in the top. What are we at here? In the top like 10 home run guys. I'm going to list you off the couple some guys here. So Tatis, okay. Schwarber, okay. Ohtani, okay. Ohtani's way down there. How many has Ohtani hit? Ohtani's at 6. So he's tied with Matt Mervis, Wilmer Flores, Tommy Edman, Jazz Chisholm, Corbin Carroll. Obviously, Aaron Judge is there with 7. But, dude, this is just a crazy trend. I just wanted to talk about it, bring it up, because you've got some of the Mike Trout's way down there. Like some of these guys who are traditional home run hitters, again, it's early. Juan Soto is nowhere even on this list, which you expect him to be with his stature, and he's not. But like my point is here is it's just weird that you've got a lot of these guys who are not traditional power hitters leading in the home run records. Torpedo bat, probably not. I'm not even going to talk about that. This is just crazy. It's wild to see. So we got Stroder Strom at 1, Cal Raleigh at 2, Judge is number 3, Carroll's at 4, Chisholm's at 4, Edmonds at 4, Wilmer's at 4, Mervis is at 4, Ohtani's at 4. So you got a lot of guys with 6, basically. A lot of people in the 6s. Alonso's number 15, because obviously these guys are going to start breaking out once they start hitting them. We'll start divvying up these numbers. Trout's down there. Junior Caminero, power hitter for the Rays, down there. So a lot of the traditional power hitters. Brent Rooker's way down there. He's only got 5. So it's just crazy to see, man. It's just crazy to see. It's just a weird start to the year. Some of these normal contact hitters, on base guys, doubles guys are slugging. It's interesting to see. Now, another thing on my list, kind of moving away from the offense, and if you're a baseball fan, you were watching this. I literally had his game on because I wasn't going to miss it. I'm a huge fan of Spencer Strider, and Spencer Strider made his return on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, against the Blue Jays. Didn't get the dub, but looked good. I think he had a little bit of some control things happening, some stuff he probably needs to work through. Obviously, and here's the thing. And I was watching the game. I like to go on Twitter and kind of read what people are saying about him as it's going, obviously, while also making my own judgments and assumptions while watching the game, right? Get some water. I'm a little thirsty here. LaCroix only. Now, didn't pitch at all last year. He actually opted for that UCL, not a full reconstruction. It's like they put the placement in there. So it's just an elbow surgery is what it was referred as, an elbow surgery. He pitched 9 innings last year, so not a lot, but he didn't have to miss the entirety of like a Tommy John rehab recovery type deal. He's back now, made his first start. He threw 5 innings. He had 5 strikeouts. Not bad. I was impressed. I think there was some pieces. His control was a little bit off, and people were like, well, he looked really good, which he was dominating his AAA starts. I mean, in Gwinnett, he was just tearing it up. Wasn't even close. My thing is this, and this is what I tell people all the time. Like, yes, he's dominating AAA because you can get away with a lot more there. You can get away with stuff. You cannot be as crisp. Obviously, somebody of his caliber, Spencer Strider, who has immense power. He's a high 90s guy. Spin rates out off the charts, right? he can dominate down there and be a little bit off. He can dominate down there and not be crisp and clean like he needs to be in the big leagues. Well, he comes up to the big leagues and he was no slouch. Like when I'm saying this, I don't mean like he was nowhere to be found. He's not himself. 5 strikeouts against Blue Jays, who are not a bad team. Not a bad team. Just signed, Vlad, and I think Chris Bassett was going against him on the other end, who he had a great game, by the way. So obviously no slouch, not a lot of run support. So obviously he took the loss that game, but he pitched well. He just had a little bit of control issues, maybe lost some feel on a couple pitches, but for the most part, he looked really good. And I think this is a good thing for the Braves. A good thing for the Braves. We're going to have a little Braves segment here because I kind of want to talk about this. Now, the Braves started off awful, really bad. I think they took like 3 series to get a win. They were really tough for a bit. 0-7, 0-8 for a moment. They finally got their wins. They're looking a little bit better. I'm going to try to see what the standings are right now. Where are the Braves? Braves. Where are they at? Okay, so the Braves are 5-13. Not great, but I think this is a step in the right direction for them to get him back in the rotation. You have Swellenbach, who's done really well. Chris Sale just needs to get going. I think he's had a slow start, but again, another guy for them. That's 3 solid starters for them that they're going to have. I think that's good moving forward. Obviously, the loss of whatever his name was, Profar, sucked. They did bring up Verdugo. They recalled him already. So that's going to be interesting. Is he going to make that big of an impact? I don't quite know. And the thing with that one is obviously they signed him super late, immediately optioned to AAA so that he could kind of use a little bit, I guess, the first month of the season kind of as like a spring training because he wasn't with a club. So we're going to see what Verdugo brings to the table. Obviously, he's directly the replacement for Profar. So we're going to see how that goes. But all in all, the steps in the right direction for the Braves, I think. Strider's back. They brought up Verdugo, who's not a bad player. Honestly, he's not a bad player. So we're going to see how that goes. No slouch, man. This could be, obviously there's still plenty of season left. So we're going to see how that goes. Now, one more thing talking about moving away from the Braves, back to the Yankees. Kind of a big deal. Obviously, next year we've got the World Baseball Classic, which is exciting. It's interesting. I'm kind of excited they announced Mark DeRosa as the manager, which is great. I think he's a great coach. And why he's not a big league coach right now, I don't know. Maybe personal preference on his end, but I think he would make an amazing manager. I've heard some ruffles that once Snitker's gone, maybe he's going to take that job of the Braves manager. I don't know. But I think that he, as a manager, I watched him the last time that they had the World Baseball Classic. It was exciting. I think the World Baseball Classic is fucking awesome. And if you don't, I don't know. The only thing that bothers me about the World Baseball Classic is obviously these guys have to get going earlier. There could be, there's been, people have been worried about the injury return on some of this stuff. Obviously, there was Edmund Diaz who got hurt that one year celebrating. Altuve got hurt that year as well. Got hit with a ball and he was out for a while. So there is that fear, but at the same time, they could be facing those same things in spring training. So it kind of offsets itself. It's just a little bit different. And I think it's exciting seeing these guys, compete and go after it for their country. I think it's really exciting. There's a different kind of passion that comes out in that. That's exciting to watch. And if you didn't see, so DeRosa got announced as the manager again. He announced his bench coaches, his hitting coaches, all that stuff. Exciting stuff. Some really good guys. I think Andy Pettit's in there. So really great assembly of coaches. And then they announced that Aaron Judge would be the captain of the team moving forward, which if Aaron Judge is the captain, they're going to have quite a bit of dudes who are going to be ready to play alongside him. I think the last time they had it was Trout, he was leading the league at the time. Big piece to it. I think DeRosa actually called Trout and told him, hey, I'm going to go for Judge this year. Trout was on board and said, go for it. Who else better than him to do it? Biggest player in the game. I still think that Trout will probably play for them, not going to lie. But I'm excited, man. Next year, it's going to be exciting to see. Super pumped to see it. I think there's honestly no better person to lead that team to do it. I think Lindor's actually got announced as the captain of Puerto Rico, which is also exciting, meaning that he's going to be on that side. There's just a lot of great baseball coming from the World Baseball Classic, and it's exciting. Well, I'm sure we'll start getting some roster updates as the time goes on, but it's going to be interesting. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Yankees, right? And kind of how that's been going. Kind of moving, obviously bringing Judge in there, right? You saw that transition. So last year, and this is what's interesting, we got to talk about Paul Goldschmidt, right? So Paul Goldschmidt last year was a Cardinal. Let me pull up his stats real quick. I thought he was pretty solid, not going to lie. I thought he was okay. Obviously, Hold on, Paul Schmidt. No, who the hell's Paul Schmidt? No, Paul Goldschmidt. Jesus. So look, when they announced that they got Paul Goldschmidt, I was worried. I was a little worried. Obviously, he's 37. We had just got rid of Anthony Rizzo, who was kind of a vet. Not kind of, he was a vet, still is a vet. I don't know if his time's over in Major League Baseball or not. I don't think he's still signed yet. But I was worried because we had, we went from no production at first base, zero. Like he was non-existent. Okay, but he missed a lot of the year with weird injuries, non-existent in the postseason. Every time he came up, it was pretty much an out. So for me, it was kind of like, oh shit, like we're getting another old guy. Like, no, 37 is not old, but in the game, it's old. You're kind of like, what can we really do with this? He has shown a lot. He's batting 352, not the power hitter that we used to see. Obviously, with his time in Arizona, in his earlier years with the Cardinals, he was a lot more power hitting. He's a lot more slugging. Now we're seeing more of an on-base guy. He's got an OPS of 862, batting 352, and we're seeing some production, which is exciting. It's exciting to see. The Yankees are kind of in an interesting spot. Last night, obviously, Will Warren did not show up. That was brutal. But we're seeing Ben Rice is going off. Ben Rice is someone who I saw 2 years ago and I thought he was ready last year, but the lineup, the depth just wasn't there for him. I get it. I understand. Let him play every day in AAA, and now he's here without, in the absence of Giancarlo Stanton, who will be coming back. But at this point, it's kind of like, bro, Ben Rice is kind of the guy. Obviously, a dual threat of first baseman. They've been putting him a lot at the DH slot, but can play first base, can catch. So it's interesting to see. I'm kind of going to pull this up. Young guy, put on an insane amount of mass this year. Let's be honest there. But yeah, 60 at-bats, 19 hits, 5 bombs. So another guy that's up there in the home run rankings. Had a 4-for-4 game not too long ago, batting 317 with a 1. OPS. So Ben Rice showed up to play this year, which is exciting. Now, I've heard a lot of people kind of talking about this whole thing with the pitching staff. Now, yes, we have a decent lineup. They have a decent lineup. I think that they're going to be fine. On paper, they don't show the top tier lineup that they kind of did last year with Judge, Soto, all those guys. I think that there's a little bit of a lower end to it, but there's a lot of chemistry with these guys. Obviously, they went out, got Max Fried, and we're going to talk about the pitching in a minute because I am a little bit worried. We're going to talk about that. But the offense, the defense has been solid. They put a scar on there, kind of took the Trevino spot at that platoon with Wells. Wells has also been playing really well. So the offense and defense has been good. I can't really say much. Now, we knew this was going to be a problem. You got Heel on the IL. He should be coming back hopefully June, maybe late May, June, maybe is what the trajectory is, but I don't know. Haven't heard anything. Obviously lost Garrett Cole, huge blow this year to Tommy John. Which they didn't get rid of Stroman. I mean, he kind of did okay for a little bit. That made some room for Will Warren. We're gonna get Clark Schmidt back here pretty soon. So there's a little bit of light, right? But here's the thing. So I got to be honest. I don't care where you stand on it. Marcus Stroman made one start this year, and I thought, and maybe the first one he made of the year, and I thought this is going to be shaky. And anyone who watched baseball knew this was going to be shaky. They have to do something here. I used to be a big Marcus Stroman fan when he was with Blue Jays, and then he kind of took this weird turn with this thing with the Cubs, the Mets, and he became this very flamboyant, the tattoos, and the persona changed from when he was with Toronto, and he was kind of that, height doesn't measure heart thing. He had this whole thing going, and the persona's changed, but the play didn't change with it. With that kind of, I hate saying arrogance because he's not necessarily arrogant, but this year he definitely came off as arrogant with the I'm a starter. Like, bro, you throw as hard as I do. You can't. And this year, right? So last year he threw 154 innings, 4 ERA, not horrible, but this year he has thrown 9 innings and his ERA is 11.57. The other day he didn't even make it out of the inning. Out of the first, which fucks your entire bullpen for the week, which was a bad look. Then says it's his knee. They go get the x-rays. It's negative. So I'm like, dude, what are we going to do? So this is a fat question mark for the Yankees right now is what they're going to do with Marcus Stroman. I'm at a loss. You can, and honestly, you go look at him pitching. It's not good. I mean, nipping the zones. I mean, never is he coming in. Never is he in the zone because he can't. You cannot throw in with what he has, what he's playing with right now. You can't put it in the zone because it's going to get smashed. Maybe not smashed, but it's going to get hit, which is what happened the other night. And I don't remember who it was. Who was it against? San Francisco, which is no slouch of a team. He got 2 outs, 5 earned runs, 4 hits, 3 walks. Because that's the thing. If he's not getting contact outs, meaning ground balls, pop flies, he's not striking people out. Not with that stuff. Can't. So it's like I'm pitching to contact, or you're gonna hit it. Like that doesn't make any sense. I'm pitching to contact, and you're either gonna hit it, or I'm gonna get you to roll out or pop up. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm having a brain fart on how to explain this, but and you can watch his pitch. It's everything's on the outside. Everything's on the outside. Refuses to put a ball in the zone because he has no confidence that what he throws in the zone is not going to get hit. He doesn't have swing and miss stuff. It's not electric like it used to be. And I don't know if there needs to be a change, something. He needs to get demoted. I don't know what his options are, if he needs to go down to AAA and just reinvent or figure something out. But this doesn't play here. And I think the Yankees now know that. Personally, I think the neat thing was giving them a chance to kind of talk about it and decide what they're going to do. Because that was the other thing. They couldn't get rid of him. There's not a whole lot of value in him right now to go and get something for him besides maybe cash considerations or maybe get him to the White Sox. I don't know. There's nothing really. There's no value. Which is scary because then you're stuck with this liability. And it was a 2-year, $24 million. So almost you kind of just want to be like DFA or something and just eat that whatever, and maybe hope that Heel comes back and Clark comes back and they stay healthy. I don't know, man. That's a tough spot. It's a really tough spot. And the other one that I think is kind of on his way out of the darkness. I was excited. Obviously, they get the Airbender. They get Devin Williams, who obviously showed last year when the Brewers went to that wild card that he didn't have the clutch gene kind of when he blew the game that time. He has not shown up that great this year. What's his 5.14 ERA? He's been 8 games. He's only gotten 4 saves, so he's at like a 50% there. 7 innings pitched. Obviously, his last one was a lot better. It was 1-2-3. That was his first one, and that was against Tampa. That was yesterday. No, the one before that was against Kansas City. He had he had another 1-2-3. Awesome. There you go. Then a 1-2-3 last night too against Tampa, and then against Kansas City he had a good outing. But the thing that's been hurting him is the walks, which is really, really strange. His walks have never been that high. And then like he had 6 in 2019, 9 in 2020, 2021 he had 28, but obviously the innings went up considerably. 30 on. Oh shit, the walks are kind of high. Walks are a little high. But the strikeouts and the ERAs are low, like a .33 in 2020, 2.5 in 2021, 1.93 in 2022, 1.53 in 23, which with the amount of innings was solid. 1.25 in 24, which was another great one. And then so far, just 5.14 is not good. Obviously, still early, but it looks like he's kind of found his groove. And I'll say this, going from playing in Milwaukee, to then showing up and playing in New York, 2 completely different environments. One's extremely harsh. It's cold. You're not inside. It's different versus Milwaukee. A lot more, scrutiny and a lot more eyeballs on you in New York. So I get it. It takes time to kind of like acclimate. Not everyone can just show up and perform. But hopefully he's on his way out. I was very worried. The last couple of times, obviously last night and when he pitched against Kansas City were really good. We're hoping he can stay on that trajectory because that's solid, but honestly was a little bit worried to begin this year. I was like, who the hell is this guy? This ain't the guy I thought they got, right? So we're okay now. Hopefully we keep the same trajectory, but wanted to kind of touch on those things. Now, so I don't know if anyone saw, I have this on here just because I typed it out. This has been a thing all week, right? So a couple days ago, there was an issue with the fan in Minute Maid taking the ball out of Trout's glove. And that whole thing happened. But then that's the second time something like that's happened. And it happened last year in the World Series, which is a much bigger stage. Dude got a lifetime ban from MLB games for doing this to Mookie Betts. And that one was a little bit more blatant. He was like one guy was holding him and the other guy was, digging in the glove. So I can see that one was a little bit more arrogant. That's the one back in the World Series from last year. But this time it happened where Trout was over it, caught it. The guy stuck his hand in the glove and ripped the ball out and then wanted to give it back to him afterwards. And I was kind of like, so I think they moved him out of his seat, but Trout was a lot better about it. Obviously, the game didn't have any real, implications. It was just a regular season game in Houston, and met the kid, gave him the ball, signed the ball, did all that stuff. So much better way to handle it, I think. Trout's just a good dude, man. It begs a question. I think and there was a fine line, right? Obviously, the ball's in the stands; it's the fans' right to get it, but also the player has the right to get it. So it's kind of a gray area of what's right and what's wrong. The one of the World Series last year was 100% wrong because that was in play. He reached over to Mookie Betts' glove because Mookie Betts was like right on the wall. This one, gray area. You shouldn't dig it out of his glove, which was kind of the weird part, but nonetheless, Trout's a good dude, man. Handed him and he got the win of the week, I think, there for doing that for that kid. But now we're going to talk about something here. And this is something a friend of mine sent me, and I don't really know how to feel about it yet. Again, we're still very, very early, though. They do have the best winning percentage and the record in baseball is the Padres. Are the Padres the best team in baseball? Now, again, I'm going to be the one to say it. It's still too early. We're very early. But yes, the Padres are fucking on fire. Xander Bogaerts, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, all having a great year so far. Obviously, Merrill signed that fat extension this year, so that's interesting. Let's kind of look at some batting averages. So you got Tatis batting 348, Merrill batting 378, Arias batting 275, and it kind of dips down. Machado batting 324, Cronenworth 257, Gavin Sheets 311, Hayward obviously a kind of a guy that's going to be a spot starter for them. Obviously another vet. He's batting 190. Martin Maldonado, 250. Okay. For a guy who didn't hit much in Houston and kind of went to the White Sox and kind of fell off a bit, not bad. Xander Bogaerts, 258. So, yeah, these guys are having themselves a year so far. No doubt. Definitely probably the best 1 through 7 offensively in the league right now. You got two guys with 1 OPS right now, Tatis and Merrill, who are just playing amazing baseball. Let's kind of look at the pitching staff here. Obviously, they got Cease, King. I thought the Yankees were going to make a move for King this year, and they didn't. Obviously, Pivetta, Jeremiah Estrada, who had that weird scoreless streak of like 20-something innings last year, which is crazy. But yeah, they're looking pretty damn good. I don't really know who you compare them to. Like these numbers themselves, like better than a lot of the other teams. And if you look at kind of the standings, let me see. There's not a lot of teams that you can really compare them to. So Yankees are 12-7, a lot of 12-7 teams. Yankees are 12-7, Rangers 12-7, Mets 12-7, Cubs 12-9, Padres 15-4. In all honesty, the Padres are a team that you wouldn't want to mess with. I think that the next below them, if you're going to look at stat-wise, is the Dodgers, because the NL West is completely stacked. Which is funny because, they got the Giants who are on one this year. Jordan Hicks did not look good yesterday. I'll say that. Dodgers, obviously, who this ridiculous lineup and pitching staff, and then the Padres. Padres have a great offense. I think their pitching staff, they've got about 3 starters who are money, a good bullpen, but nowhere near. I don't think a team in baseball has a staff anywhere near as good as the Dodgers do. Which is funny because I was reading this with my girlfriend last night. We were looking over the stats and stuff. The Diamondbacks are 12-7, who are not a bad club, very scrappy club, kind of a sleeper club. They're 12-7, even with the Yankees, and they're in second to last place. The tough draw, man. It's a tough, tough draw. And then obviously the Rockies are 3-15, which we're going to talk about, the worst team in baseball. Pittsburgh Pirates are 8-12 down there. But before I get, and I want to talk about the worst teams in baseball right now, but before we get down there, in all honesty, yes, I'm being honest, the Padres are the best team in baseball right now by a long shot. All the way through consistency, pitching, defense. They're the best team in baseball right now. Again, right now is my key word is right now. Ask me again in 3 months when we get to June, right before the All-Star break, and I'm sure everything's going to flip on its head. If you're a Padres fan, I hope not, but they're looking good. Looking real good. Now, the worst team in baseball, and this is one of those things, man. The Rockies, I've actually, unfortunately enough for me, I watch a lot of baseball during the day when I work. I've caught quite a few of the Rockies games incidentally, just because they happen to be on. I think one day the game of the day, because I was busy at work, game of the day came on was the Phillies and the Rockies. And they kind of gave the Rockies a run for their money towards the end with Jordan Romano on the mound, but there was just too many instances during that game where I was like, what the fuck are we doing, man? The Rockies are 3-15. Now the White Sox are, again, one of those teams, because it was funny because they won the first game of the year. And I remember I was like, could the White Sox do something? Are they going to flip this script? No, they're 4-14. So again, not good either. And I'm going to look into this real quick. So saving grace. Do the Rockies have anyone of saving grace where they're like, maybe? They had Chris Bryant. I think Bryant's hurt. I'm kind of curious. Let's look at some. Memorial Day weekend, they got the Yankees, so that's not going to be good for the Rockies. Okay, let's see who we got. They got McMahon, which is not a bad player. He's batting .215. They do have Brenton Doyle. I don't know who Brenton Doyle is, but he's batting .315. And other than that, I don't know a single person on this lineup besides Chris Bryant, and he's hurt. Tyler Freeman, nothing. See, pitching wise, again, one of these these teams that just need to build up. Who's pitching? Feltner, Freeland. Nope. Don't know a single person. I'm not being a dick. I'm not being a dick to these guys. These guys are major league ball players. I just don't know them. And that's kind of the thing is like, where's the saving grace here besides maybe McMahon, who can pull, you could probably figure it out. McMahon's been a good ball player. And Brenton Doyle, maybe. Batting .315, right? So let's see who's got the. I honestly think the White Sox have a better team. I know they just released Michael Clevinger, who, however you feel about him, you feel about him however you feel about him. But obviously that guy's been bouncing around the league for some time now. Hold on, guys. Let me pull up my facts here because I don't like to say things and then not know, back them up by facts. Let's see. Pull up the White Sox. Again, Rockies by stature, technically by one game, are the worst team in baseball right now at 3-15. White Sox are 3-14, though not a whole lot of difference there. Let's see. Come on. It's funny, man, because like they had Rodon, they still have Luis Robert. Not a bad player. I thought that they tried to get more from him. They got rid of Crochet. So they've had pieces and got rid of them. Yeah, but right off the bat, the White Sox have more people that I think can pull something off than the Rockies do. Right? Brooks Baldwin, not bad. Andrew Benintendi, a guy who's been in the league for a while. 273 batting average, 769 OPS, could maybe do something. Nick Maton, not bad. Maton, however you pronounce his name. Vaughn, at first base, not bad. He's batting horribly right now. Luis Robert, who has historically been good and was a big trade piece that I thought people were going to throw big money at last year at the deadline, who didn't go because I think the White Sox are making that a little bit difficult. But he has yet to get going. He's batting .136, not good. Clay Taylor's also a White Sox. That's interesting. .184, not good. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at it on paper, it's kind of a tough battle between the White Sox and the Rockies on who the worst team in baseball is. Not a good stat to one. I mean, obviously not a good topic to talk about, but you have to talk about it because we just talked about the best team in baseball, obviously the Padres, 15-4, and now you're 3-14. But yeah, I think I'm hoping that these guys turn it around because they were by far almost a laughing stock of the league last year. It was really bad. I mean, even the Rays, who don't have a field, are better. They're playing at Steinbrenner and the spring training field. The A's are playing better, who are playing at another minor league park, which is weird. They're doing better. And they're signing players. They got Schroederstom, who's obviously a rookie. I mean, not a rookie, but a guy who's came up through that organization. They've got Severino. They got Rooker. Like, there's guys, man. They got guys over there. The Athletics may be trying to do something. This is, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Between the White Sox and the Rockies, this is dismal. Dismal, though. If I had to give an advantage to one of these teams, it would be the White Sox. So I don't know what the Rockies are going to do. I don't know what's going to happen, but they are definitely battling for the worst team in baseball. Oh, man. But anyway, so thank you guys for watching. I know I kind of burned through quite a few topics today, just some stuff that's been happening. Obviously, I had to kind of fit in a lot of content in one episode because I missed the entire week. That won't be the case most times. We'll have a lot more detailed stuff moving forward. Like I said, we're going to be doing 2 episodes a week moving forward, one on Mondays, or I'll try to get it out Monday. If not, it'll be out on Tuesdays. And then I'll record Thursday if I get it out Thursday. If not, it'll be Friday. But be on the lookout for 2 episodes a week, as well as our content on socials. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. We got stuff there. TikTok for sure. I don't really do the Twitter thing. I'm not about the X, so nothing on X. And obviously, like, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. It really gets us going. And if you listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple, rate it. It helps with us. It helps the algorithm, helps push our show, the show, to more people, get to more listeners. So if you do like, subscribe, all that stuff, I really appreciate it. And again, a lot more coming, guys. A lot more baseball happening. We're not even a month in, almost a month in, and it's already heating up. So don't miss it. And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.